We haven't seen Karrion Kross in a while, couple weeks now, and inconspicuous by his absence. What do you know that is going on with him?
It's just such a mess. From losing on the first night to not coming in with Scarlett to then deciding that we're going to do something, do something with him. I mean, they were going to do something with him anyway. The loss. Now, there's a story out there that I put out where before the loss, where I said there was some heat on him for like a little altercation with Adam Cole. Mm-hmm. And also because it's been like said that he has some jealousy issues, that he's like sometimes short with people who he thinks knew his girlfriend before him because she's been around the scene. And there are some personal stories that I know of a couple of guys that she's been with before him. And yeah, I mean, he's aware of that, but it wasn't a case of he's a to people. It was a case of, he's got his like wits about him. He's got his like sensors on to see who's she talking to, where is she, how does she know this person? Like, and he's not said to be
Macho Man over here.
He's not Macho Man, not at all. He's definitely not Macho Man, but he's definitely not like everybody's best friend. Like, I think this could be confused with being a guy that keeps himself to himself. Anyway, long story short, because I've already done the whole story about it, there was questions about his attitude and how much they wanted to push him, mainly because of his age, because he's well into his 30s. And there was some like stupid little tests there. One was Austin Theory saying those are huge when he was talking about Scarlett's like nails. The other thing was, giving him some losses, but actually, and taking Scarlett away from him as well was another one. But actually, the Jeff Hardy loss wasn't actually one of these like lesson learning losses. This was a thing where they decided to do, where they turned around and went, we're back live. We're back live in front of crowds. We need to send a message that anything can happen when we're live. The most unexpected result of the night will be a debutante losing. This was so short-sighted. This was so Vince McMahon that I found it difficult to see how the guy was going to get back from it. And now he's gone into the bondage gear, even though he is winning. And now I'm hearing that they're not 100% behind that. Obviously, they've seen stuff on social media, and he's going back to a psycho gimmick. Now, I don't know if the bondage gear is completely gone. However, they are moving into a direction where he's going to be portrayed as being a bipolar schizophrenic.
Really? He's turned into almost a Lars Sullivan to me.
That's the character they wanted. So they're obviously going back to that. Yeah, he is. That's a good point. I didn't even think of that he was just coming in for Lars, who they were absolutely in love with until he kept doing things to get himself taken.
Yeah, until he was getting blown by people on camera. Any word? I mean, I doubt you even know about this. Is any word? Where the hell is Scarlett? Is she showing up with him on this next go around?
There's lots of like stuff about that. I mean, the initial idea is that he would get into a situation where she would be a difference maker. So they wanted to bring her in individually. During that, I know there was some fine tuning with her down at the Performance Center in terms of, at the time, establishing her as someone that could wrestle as well, so that they could do mixed tags, things like that. But now I'm hearing a little bit more about personal issues, which nobody's talking about. I heard something from somebody who's not one of my usual sources, but I heard something from somebody that said that she's taking a break because Don Callis is back on TV, and Don Callis, who works at AEW, once tried to proposition her, and apparently, like, seeing him on TV causes her like issues where she wants a break from wrestling. Now that sounds like to me. The Callis story isn't, I don't think, because there's definitely something where something went down between those two. There was a falling out between Don Callis and her, but I don't know whether it's a case of, oh my God, I can't be in this industry at the moment because he's in it, because they're not even on the same show. So
yeah,
somewhere along the line, somebody's like added up 1 and 1 and got to 3. But in all honesty, I cannot find out what's going on because nobody's. I think this is a very much a case of it's only being kept between them. But also, with him coming onto TV and doing this, I can pretty much tell you at this point, it wasn't done like this in order to. It wasn't like Plan A, basically, to say, oh, let's take him away from Scarlett and completely like demasculate him. The irony is it was done that way on Main Event. So when Karrion Kross was on Main Event and he was sent down there, and it was done in a very unglamorous way, it was done to show you what he would look like without her, without the entrance, and without everything that WWE put in, because he was like heated at Adam Cole, cutting that in a promo unscripted. And as I said, as you know, Adam Cole could say what he wanted to because he's leaving anyway. He knew he was leaving because his wife's at AEW. So Adam Cole dropped that in, and he was pissed off about it. And then next week is on Main Event without his entrance and everything. That was done as a lesson, which is why people are getting confused. But moving him onto the main roster and actually starting there without Scarlett, that was not Plan A. But obviously, you couldn't sit there and wait on this because you're paying a guy to go to work. So he's not going to get time off while his girlfriend gets time off, because that's not how this industry works.
That is a very interesting story.